evening. Welcome to the Kalimdor Inquisition, the only show on YouTube offered in bacon.
Sorry, little piggy. You knew you had it coming. Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm Jared.
Mark.
And I'm not waving at you. Because my hand's full of beer. And, you know what? I got nothing, really, tonight. As far as news tonight, I got nothing. Nothing really interesting is going on in the world of gaming. On a personal note, we both beat the StarCraft campaign. I highly recommend you check it out.
You beat it on casual.
I wanted to see the story, and I don't like thinking. So, it was the perfect choice. Why not? Anyway, I think we... So, anyway, I think we both highly recommend you check it out. It was like I was playing through a movie. Plot twists everywhere. I know, Mark, you texted me after you beat it saying you didn't even see the ending coming, so... yeah, that's pretty awesome. So, that being said, being we have no news tonight, it's time to hit the rant button.
Rant!
Tonight's topic is something that's been on both our minds for a while. It's transparency in video game designing. How much is too much? Tonight we're going to be using Warcraft as an example of a company that might have gone too far in letting their player base think they have more creative control than what they actually do. Let me explain. So, first off, Mark and I have both played a few MMOs, and when it comes to customer service and interaction with the customers, I think Blizzard is at the top. And let me be clear, that's for major gaming companies. Don't come at me in the comments and say, hey, here's a company of 20 people that interacts with their player base on a daily basis and gives them all the codes to their game. It's a little bit different than a worldwide company like Blizzard or EA or whatever else. So I think Blizzard does probably the best job of any of the big gaming companies out there, MMO gaming companies out there, with interacting with their player base. And I'm talking about on the forums. Not only do you have your standard blue posters, but you have actual game developers coming up there and poster. I mean, you have Greg Street, the lead systems designer, coming and posting on the forums and answering our stupid questions that we may throw at him. I mean, that's something that's totally, if you think about it, below his pay grade. He's doing the job of a customer service representative at that point in time. And it's kind of, it's great to see. It's awesome to have. But I think that has kind of created a culture in this game that almost fosters, I don't want to say laziness, but uncreativity. Because now, every time you see something that's wrong in the game, you're just like, I'm going to go blow this out on the forums. And off I go. You're not going to try and figure out a way to work around it, figure out a way to outthink the problem. You're just going to post it as a bug. Now, I'm not saying that Blizzard should cut off all ties with the player base and be like, screw you, this is our game, we're going to make it the way we want to. Obviously, you have to fix the bugs, and you have to fix the blatant balance issues that come with any game. I'm talking about, let's say, I'm going to pick on rogues. My rogue DPS is low, and I considered, I need buffs everywhere. Well, I remember back in the, what everyone calls the golden days of Burning Crusade and Vanilla, if your class was bad, or deemed to be bad, or had a spec that was bad, you found a creative way around it. There wasn't a lot of posting on forums or anything back in those days. I'll give you an example. In our guild, well, in any guild, we had rogues. And in Burning Crusade days, the only thing you rated as was a combat rogue. Everything else was balls for PvE. Just straight balls. And we had a rogue that said, screw that convention, I want to be subtlety. I like subtlety. It's awesome. This rogue took it upon himself to create a subtlety PvE rogue, and he was very good at it. Mark can attest to how good he was. He was good, wasn't he, Mark?
You pissed me off. I wanted to be that awesome, but I had to be combat.
Yeah, and it's because he just sat down and said, you know what, I want to make this work. Same thing with classes like, specs like Rep Paladins. Rep Paladins, not the greatest, really. At that point in time, they were very gangly, awkward, spec. It was really hard for people to get the hang of them. But you know what? There are those players out there that, instead of crying, whining, said, you know what? I want to do this. This is what I want to do. They sat down and they figured it out. And I feel that's really been lost in the world of Warcraft today. because Blizzard's become too transparent with their game design and made it look like they have so much control in it that instead of going out there saying, I want to do this, I'm going to make it work, we just go, Daddy Blizzard, fix it. And that's kind of the end of my portion of this rant. Mark?
Okay. We go to the topic of people complaining too much in Blizzard. Basically changing everything to please the need of the customer. Well, that sounds to be a smart business decision, but it does breed an attitude of laziness in this day and age. I do remember that rogue that Jared was talking about, however I can't remember his name to save my life. But he was awesome, and like I said before, he pissed me off because I wanted to be a subtlety PvE rogue, and I just couldn't do it. And that's okay. Anyway, moving along the topic here, I recall several nights of Jared yelling and screaming about mages here, but, you know, he wasn't saying, Blizzard fixed the problem. He was like, how can I solve the problem? Which is kind of the attitude people should be having about the game. But people don't. You hear way too many things on the forums. I think Blizzard does a pretty good job in keeping to a nice balance of responding to the customers, because that's what they are, and ignoring them and just saying, hey, learn to play, noob. So, but we also have to remember that this game is not the same as vanilla anymore. If a friend of mine who hasn't played since BC turned up this game today, he wouldn't know what the hell he's doing. He'd think he's playing some other game. So, a lot of us old school gamers out there need to remember that this is not the same game. So, that's kind of my thoughts on the topic here that Jared was mentioning. So, I'm going to pass it on back to Jared, and thank you.
So, all in all, kind of differing views there. So, in your opinion, do you think, I know you say Blizzard does a fairly good job of weeding out the response stuff. Do you think that too many complaints get passed through that don't need to be? Like, let me take Hunters for example. I remember early Pandaria, there was a move they had, stampeding something, where Beastmaster Hunters just threw a bunch of animals at you, popping in the cooldown, and they could take you out in a matter of seconds. That was nerfed down into Oblivion, where it's not really what it was anymore. But I always felt with that move itself that if you knew what you were doing and, you know, detected the hunter coming at you with that move, it was pretty easy to pop a couple defensive cooldowns, and once that hunter's, you know, rush ran off, you pretty much wore up his bag of tricks, and then he was done. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you think Blizzard maybe gives too much credence to stuff that could probably just be left alone?
I don't think they do. Granted, I don't really play other classes right now. I mean, I just dabble and toy with other classes, but honestly, with my schedule lately, I haven't had time to even play my monk, which is my main, and I like what Blizzard's done with the monk. They made it nice and average, so that way, if you top the DPS charts, it means you've earned it. So, with other classes, I'm not really all too sure, but from what Blizzard has done with the monk class, I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, coming around to that, I actually do think that Blizzard balanced monk actually pretty well. It's definitely not the Death Knight effect that still suffers from the stigmatism of OP. So, I think Blizzard did a really good job with the monk. That's a side tangent. Either way, that's it. I think I'm done with my rant. I want to hear from all you guys now. What are your thoughts on transparency in game design? How much is too much? Do you think a company like Blizzard has gone too far or has the perfect balance? Do you think they could go even further? Let us know. I really want to know what the differing opinions are out there. My thoughts on the matter. I think that they've kind of bred a, atmosphere of why bother in it. The customer's always coming back, verbally abusing them for more, gimme, gimme, gimme. Mark has a different opinion where they kind of weed it out and take the good, the good stuff, get rid of the bad stuff. And I'm perched on a chair like a parrot. So, hey, let us know what you think. Comments below. Put it on Facebook. We'll be happy to have a civilized discussion or maybe an argument with you. I don't care. You can even drop it on Twitter. I'll check it. Maybe. sometime. That's it. I'm out. I'm done. Mark, you got anything else? Did you find anything in this time that I've ranted?
Nope, you said it pretty well. We both expressed our opinions, and we want to hear yours.
Alright, we're done. So, for the Kalimdor Inquisition, I'm Jared.
I'm Mark. Big Bear.
Have a good night, everyone.
Do I match with the other bear on the rug?
You could be cousins. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that you are.